Okay, so Ozma. Ozma? I feel that's how you pronounce it. Right? It's a new film playing at Sci-Fi London. It is written, directed, and produced by Keith John Adams. It is co-produced by Gemma Saunders and Caroline Topazula Glue. Probably messed that pronunciation up. Keith also is on cinematography, editing, production design, sound, along with Chris Branch and Tom Haynes. He provides the music. Yeah, it's a very tight crew. Our cast, we have Jeff, played by Ferdy Roberts, even. There's Joanna, played by Gemma Saunders. Chloe, plays by Alice Magadarelli. We have our policewoman, played by Victoria Mosley, and our policeman, played by Junot. And then the voice of Ozma is Eva Magyar. Okay, so the gist of the flick. After enduring yet another sleepless night, plagued by the weight of his wife's absence, Jeff, an insomniac tormented by grief, stumbles upon a peculiar alien creature reminiscent of a jellyfish in the alley adjacent to his residence. Astonishingly, this otherworldly being establishes a telepathic connection with Jeff, imploring him to aid it in its concealment from menacing pursuers and help it get home. Dum dum dum. Now, this is it's definitely an interesting flick, right? It's in black and white, which it kind of gave me the feel of those Sunday morning movies, you know what I mean? Forbidden Planet and stuff like that, right? And with Jeff on a bike with this Ozma in the front basket, I definitely feel they were trying to invoke E.T., right? With those scenes. Now, I think a really intriguing thing with this, and I've been trying to recall if I've seen it anywhere else before, but the score becomes a visual component of the film, because when musical beds start playing, the musicians playing them appear on the screen. Yeah, they appear on the screen, and sometimes, maybe a scene we are looking at becomes translucent, so that's in the kind of background, and then it comes back into focus, and the musician disappears. Right? I thought that was interesting. You know, um, it does become distracting, right? After a while, I'll say that. Because the film's about 75 minutes, something like that, right? So yeah, it does become distracting, you know. Story wise, we start off with a situation, you know, with Uzma going somewhere, and then we're with these police officers who kind of look like Hitler Youth, right? In their little uniforms on their bikes. And their truncheons looked like cucumbers. I might be wrong. They look like cucumbers to me, you know? I thought the way they communicate looked interesting. So I feel she was talking. The female cop was talking to a tree. Again, maybe I missed something. That's what it looked like, right? But I thought interesting, you know. So yeah, there's plenty of interesting kind of components to this, which I think makes it worth a watch. The acting was a little up and down, right? Because I think some of the things that were talked about here, because, as mentioned in the synopsis, right, Jeff is dealing with loss and grief, and so is Joanna. So you have those components, regrets and, memory, just these things. And a lot of the inner monologues that we are hearing verbally, you know what I mean? Kind of makes sense, but it's kind of the delivery doesn't do the words enough justice, right? There's not enough emotion behind them to really make me buy into what's being said, because it just felt like someone narrating, reading words off a teleprompter, rather than these heartfelt feelings from someone who's being tortured by past events, which is a shame. It is a shame, because I think if they had got that right, the film would really impact more, But as I said, there's enough interesting things here, I would say, for like, a sci-fi fan to be intrigued. It's definitely like like one of those late night movies, right? Playing at 4 a.m. in the morning. It's that kind of vibe, you know? Like, man, I just remember in my younger years, right? Come home from a club and you'd, put on the TV and there'd be like this kung fu movie with horrendous dubbing, acting all over the kazoo, but it was fun enough that you're just like, you know what, I'll just watch this. And it's a kind of like that, it's kind of like that. There's these things that don't necessarily make sense, right? Don't necessarily make sense, why the police are there, and just all this stuff that's going on. But you know, as like this short story, it's okay. It's okay, right? I think that yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I feel that if you enjoy, right, like a kind of a B movie, you know what I mean? If that's your jam, then yeah, I think this will work for you. It is hands down better than Cade, the Tortured Crossing. You know what I mean? The story is way more consistent than that. So, what I mean? Do not get me wrong, people. It's just yeah, you just think there's elements that could have been polished. But you know what I mean? As I said, could be worth a watch, right? Depending on what you're looking for. You know what I mean? But yeah, another flick showing at Sci-Fi London, people. Hit the website for all that information. All right.